Friends, welcome to the Manuscript Papua YouTube channel. On the 12th of September, 2025, a joint press conference with several media outlets was held in Honiara, Solomon Islands. This event was part of the series of meetings of the leaders of the member countries of the Pacific Islands Forum, or PIF. At the forum, the leaders discussed various strategic issues affecting the Pacific region, ranging from regional security, climate change, economic development, to the dynamics of international partnerships. However, the focus was on the absence of West Papua in the official communique, as well as in the opening statements, even though this issue has always been part of the forum's regular agenda. During the question and answer session, a journalist questioned the absence of any reference to West Papua and asked about the possibility of the region obtaining observer status under the new partnership policy. Responding to the question, the Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands, His Excellency Jeremiah Manele, affirmed that West Papua remains part of the Pacific Islands Forum agenda, although it was not explicitly mentioned in the official meeting documents. Furthermore, the forum leaders directed the PIF Secretariat to continue cooperation with the United Nations Human Rights Commission to follow up on previous decisions related to the human rights situation in West Papua. Regarding the possibility of West Papua obtaining observer status, it was explained that the new partnership policy has been adopted, but its implementation is still under technical discussion by the Troika, that is, the three main member countries of the forum, which will process the matter gradually.
Try to read this as quickly as possible, but I've got a question about one of the two standing agenda items. You've referred to the nuclear issue. There's no reference in your opening address or remarks about West Papua, and I can't find any reference in here to West Papua at all. What discussion was there about West Papua? Why is there no reference to West Papua, a standing agenda item in this communique? And under the partnership, leaders policy on partnerships, it talks about observer status. Is this an avenue for West Papua to seek observer status with Pacific Islands Forum?
Thank you. In terms of West Papua, yes, it's a standing matter, and as part of the outcomes, the leaders tasked the Secretariat in terms of the work with the UN Human Rights Commission to follow up on the previous decision for the UNHCR on that. Relating to the whether West Papua will become an observer, at this stage, as I've said, the partnership policy has been adopted, but the details, Troika will be working on the details going forward.
Thus, although not listed in the official documents, West Papua remains a part of the forum's attention. The directive to continue cooperation with the UN Human Rights Commission also indicates that this issue remains a sustained concern for the region. The opportunity for West Papua to be more formally involved through observer status is currently being studied, a process that could open new spaces in regional and international diplomacy. Warm greetings from the Manuscript Papua YouTube channel. Here is the press conference.
Media, in the international media who's covering the Pacific Islands Forum leaders meeting for the first time. Can I have a show of hands? For the first time, if you're from outside of the region. Outside of the region, if you're covering the Leaders Forum for the first time. Okay, so it's just yourself. All right. New Zealand, you're kind of sitting in between. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Caleb. I also see some colleagues from our friends from the CSO sector who are in this room as well. I wouldn't be expecting you to ask questions, and forgive me if I avoid you, because this is mainstream media, so just giving you the heads up. Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the press corps. Everyone all right? Okay, it's been a long week, I know. It's been a long week, but we totally appreciate your presence this afternoon. This is the final part of the event for the press, for the Troika press conference following the 54th Pacific Islands Forum Leaders Meeting. So here in this room this afternoon, we have Secretary General, His Excellency Baron Wanga, and next to him is the Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands, Honorable Jeremiah Manele. And then next to him, we have the Prime Minister of Tonga, His Excellency Asake Eke, and we have the Foreign Minister for Palau, His Excellency Gustav Aitaro. So I shall now hand over to the Secretary General to make the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Moderator. A very good afternoon to you all, and warm Pacific greetings to all members of the media joining us this afternoon at the Media Center. Making time to be with us on this beautiful Friday afternoon. And we have just concluded the Forum Leaders meeting with their retreat in Noro, Munda, the final meeting of a suite of key forum meetings that began earlier this year. Forum leaders during the deliberations considered the work being done on key regional issues, including the implementation of the 2050 strategy, the review of the regional architecture, the signing of the agreement to establish the Pacific Resilience Facility, the endorsement of the Blue Pacific Ocean of Peace Declaration, among others. The leaders' meeting was chaired by the Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands, and I wish to extend my appreciation to our chairman and to all the leaders and officials for their unwavering support and commitment, as well as strategic guidance leading to the successful outcomes from this Leaders Forum. And without further ado, I now hand over to the Forum Chairman and the Forum Troika leaders to outline the key outcomes from this year's Forum Leaders meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Secretary General. And warm Pacific greetings to the members of the media present here. It's an honor to address you today following the successful conclusion of the 2025 Forum Leaders meeting here in Honiara. I'm also pleased to be joined here by my fellow Troika colleagues, the Honourable Prime Minister from Tonga, Dr. Eke, and the Honourable Minister Aitaro from Palau. Over the course of our week-long deliberations, we have reflected deeply on our shared priorities, reaffirmed our unity as a region, and agreed on clear actions that will help guide the Blue Pacific continent through an increasingly complex and challenging strategic environment. In addition to our meeting among us this week, we also had the opportunity to meet with a number of our key stakeholders, including the representatives from the private sector, civil society organizations, head of crop agencies, and one of our associate members. The focus of the retreat yesterday was the report on the high-level political Talanoa that was facilitated between May and July 2025. Leaders had a robust exchange with the high-level persons group that developed the report based on the political consultations with 16 of our 18 forum members. In general, the report was of a high quality, balanced, and practical in its recommendations. However, it remains a highly politically sensitive document. Central to the report is the call for deepened and revitalized Pacific regionalism, a more efficient regional system, and integrated delivery for our Pacific people. Over the coming months, the Troika will assume direct leadership and oversight of the implementation of the recommendations from the report, in line with the Forum leaders' discussions yesterday. Milestones were reached this week with the signing of the establishment agreement for our very own Pacific Resilience Facility, PRF, a financing facility for the Pacific by the Pacific. This agreement will be a crucial advocacy tool for the capitalization of the PRF. I thank all those who have made pledges to this facility to date. In our efforts to reiterate the implementation of peace in our region, we endorsed the Blue Pacific Ocean of Peace Declaration. As highlighted by Prime Minister Rambuka, and I quote, "The Ocean of Peace Declaration is a signal that we seek a region in which strategic competition is managed, where stability is the touchstone of regional relationships, and where cohesion is assured." The declaration promotes peace building as an integral element of Pacific regionalism and recognizes that sustainable development is essential for addressing the root causes of conflict, fostering lasting harmony, and empowering communities to thrive. Importantly, and something that is dear to me, is the discussion on the ongoing legacy issues relating to unexploded ordnance, UXO, in the region, including Solomon Islands. This is something that we are committed to incorporating into our region or our regional security work program. In terms of partnerships, leaders have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening strategic partnership and have endorsed the leaders' policy on partnerships with the Pacific Islands Forum. In the coming months, officials will work with partners to lay this out more clearly and begin the assessment for the application of the policy. We thank partners for their understanding and allowing us as a region to have the space and time to walk through the reviews that we have before us and to ascertain the way forward from here. We remain committed to strengthening and elevating our partnerships to support our shared priorities and values. And we hope that this new leaders policy will provide a firm basis for this moving forward. The spirit of partnership applies to our regional partners, including our crop agencies. This week, our crop agencies stood in solidarity in driving our collective actions to achieve the goals and vision for 2050. Leaders discussed the ongoing implications of the U.S. government decisions on the region and its regional agencies and noted a report commissioned by the Troika on the same. On the matter of the U.S., leaders agreed to also revitalize their engagement with the U.S. on nuclear legacy issues, as well as continue with the U.S. to ensure the payment of the U.S. Tuna Treaty annual payments to the region. To increase our voice in international platforms, leaders endorsed a regional mechanism for the nomination of international candidates to international positions. Integration, one recurring point of discussion throughout the course of the week was the need to step up our effort to drive sustainable development, moving away from the individual sectoral approach in our key economic sectors of fisheries and tourism to a more coordinated and cohesive approach across these key sectors through deepening regional integration. Innovation, technological advancement, and connectivity are key enablers for deepened regionalism or integration. Leaders discuss opportunities in the fisheries sector to scale up development efforts to boost value adding to this valuable shared resource. In the heart of regional integration is the freer movement of people, and to support that, leaders endorse the Pacific Regional Labor Mobility Principles to guide maximizing the developmental, social, and economic benefits of labor mobility. Deepening regional integration is our commitment to leaving no one behind. The leaders of these small island states identified their key priorities, and these cannot be driven or achieved in isolation. Air and sea transport has been identified as one of the SIS priorities. These are crucial for the consideration of deepening regional integration to improve intra-regional trade, access to finance, and sustainable economic development. In terms of people-centered development, our discussions this week also focused on human development, where our people is front and center in all that we do. Leaders this week reaffirmed their commitment to placing people at the heart of their collective action, recognizing its criticality or centrality to the well-being, equity, and inclusion of Pacific peoples. In terms of climate change and preparation for COP31, leaders stood in solidarity in supporting Australia in their bid to host COP31 as a Pacific COP. We contribute so little to global warming, but we face the brunt of its impacts. Having a Pacific COP will be an opportunity to share with the world that we are not defined by our vulnerabilities, but by the strength of our resilience. Leaders commended the effort by our youth and with the leadership of the government of Vanuatu in leading the advocacy that saw the issuance of the landmark International Court of Justice, ICJ, advisory opinion. In terms of ocean priorities, with our ocean as our lifeline, discussions on issues relating to the health of the ocean was central this week. This includes the discussion on the outcomes of the first high-level Talanoa on deep-sea mineral that took place early this year. One message was certain this week, and that is act now. In terms of way forward, we achieved a mammoth task this week, and I thank my fellow forum leaders for their commitment, endurance, and more importantly, standing in solidarity as we wrap up this week's discussions. But many more lies ahead, and it will not be a smooth journey. But I am confident that with my fellow Troika colleagues, we can navigate our waka. Aim it together, act now for an integrated Blue Pacific continent. Thank you too much.
Thank you, Prime Minister Manele. I would now like to invite the immediate past chair of Tonga, Prime Minister of Tonga, His Excellency Dr. Eke, to give his remarks.
What's happening? Again, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I'd like to reaffirm again our sincere thanks and appreciation to Honourable Prime Minister Manele and also the government and the people of the Solomon Islands for the magnificent arrangements for this 54 Pacific Islands Forum. This has been a great week of discussion and renewal of relationship within the Forum family, and I have enjoyed the frank and robust exchanges with our colleague leaders on the issues most pertinent to our region at this very critical time. The format of the agenda for discussion this year followed the thematic areas of the 2050 strategy and gave us as Forum leaders an opportunity to discuss broader sectoral issues that have been elevated for our political considerations. It was also an opportunity to hear comprehensive updates and emerging issues across economic development, social inclusion, environmental issues, climate change, and political developments, to name a few. For Tonga, of course, the Pacific Ocean Facility is a key priority that we will continue to champion moving forward in our capacity as host government to facilitate. I was also pleased that over the course of the week, we were also able to reflect collectively on the key emerging issues, such as transnational crime and illicit drug trades, especially on its adverse implications on our people and our societies. And Tonga will remain on the Forum Troika mechanisms at the Totalities meeting in Palau next year, and we look forward to continuing to support the Forum series in the coming months. Malawapit.
Thank you, Prime Minister Dr. Eke. Speaking on behalf of the government of Tonga, I would now like to invite opening remarks from the Foreign Minister for Tonga, for Palau, sorry, excuse me, Mr. Gustav Aitaro, to give his remarks.
Thank you, moderator. Ali from Palau. First, I would like to say thank you. Thank you, Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands, the Honorable Jeremiah Manele, as well as the people of the Solomon Islands, for being a wonderful host of our week-long Talanoa. It has been 5 days of meetings and conversations between leaders from around the Blue Pacific, which we believe will lead to tangible outcomes for our people. Now the work will start on delivering on the outcomes of our discussions for the benefit of Pacific communities. Act now. In Palau, we have preparations to host the 55th Pacific Islands Forum Leaders Meeting, and my people look forward to welcome you all in what will be a historic occasion, not just for my country, but also for Micronesia. Again, to our current host, the Solomon Islands government and its people, the Honorable Prime Minister, the people of Solomon Islands deserve the utmost courtesies. for an exemplary hospitality that has been accorded to all of us, the members of the Blue Pacific family. And they have truly exemplified the theme for this year's for PIF, You Me Together. With this, I would like to close by saying we welcome everybody to the Republic of Palau next year and convey our deepest support and strong stance with the Solomon Islands for the tenure of his chairmanship for the PIF. Again, Kopal Sulang, thank you too much.
Thank you, Foreign Minister for Palau. We will now move to the next stage of this press conference. Your Excellencies, appreciate your time to take on questions from the media. So please, if you can state your name and the news organization that you represent. And I am going to restrict, because it feels like we are in a rugby scrum at the moment. So I will restrict one question to one news organization. So if you can put your hands up and state your name and your organization before asking your question, please. We have two roving mics over here, so yeah. Jeremiah?
Hello. My question is based on the defer of dialogue partners. Oh, my name is Jeremy Gow from Tavuli News, Solomon Islands. My question is basically on the defer of dialogue partners. As the current chair, how does the plans for leaders to re-engage with dialogue partners moving forward? And as Solomon chair, Solomon being the chair, how can you manage the expectation after this deferral?
Thank you for that important question. The deferral was based on leaders' decision in Tonga. The leaders here in Onero, we now have endorsed the leaders' partnership policy. And the Secretariat and the Troika will work on that. And we hope the arrangements will be ready before Palau. Thank you.
Next question.
Hello, my name is Yanoso. I'm from ZFM Radio. I have one question, but it has two parts. The first part is for the previous chair, Tonga, and the second part is for the current chair, Prime Minister Manele. To the previous chair, can you tell us some of your achievements during your term as chair? And to the current chair, what do you aim to achieve in your term? Thank you.
Thanks very much for the question. In fact, if anything we're able to, that has been transparent and accomplished during this time, I would like to attribute it to the Forum Secretariat and also the member countries. And one of them is the approval or approval of the recommendations in March this year in a special meeting of the Financial Economic Ministers meeting in Tonga to endorse the proposal for the approval of the Pacific Region Facility for all the members to agree to, and also to have it rectified here in the 54 meeting, which was happened last week, yesterday, or the day before. So that was, I think, one of the things that actually that during this period we have been able to collectively approve. So I'd like to thank the Secretary and also member countries for the commitment, which show our collective commitment is still there to make things happen. And I think that's the great achievement. There's a lot of things when our countries come together, there's nothing impossible. I think that's, plus other things, of course, it has been transpired and actually accomplished, but I'd like to point to this, and also this is a collective effort. Thank you.
Thank you. With regards to the second part of your question, but before I go into that, just want to inform the media that the issues or initiatives taken by the Forum Chair working closely with our Forum Secretariat, these are process issues and they take time, 2-3 years, for example. But as the Prime Minister of Tonga said, I think one of the achievements of the Forum, and of course under his chairmanship, is the successful conclusion in terms of the PRF treaty. And of course, the other, if I may add to that, is the adoption of the Ocean of Peace Declaration. That started in Cook Islands about 2 or 3 years ago. And under his chairmanship, he pursued that, and we signed off on that a few days ago here in Honiara. Going forward, we'll continue with those efforts. For example, the PRF will need advocacy in terms of getting resources from our partners. The Ocean of Peace Declaration will need an implementation plan. And so we'll work closely with the Secretariat and through Troika to come up with an implementation plan. Thirdly, one of the major issues that I will pursue with the help of the Forum Secretariat is to ensure that there is a work program for the issue of UXOs, unexploded ordnance, which is a priority not only for Solomon Islands, but also a number of our countries within the region. Fourthly, through Troika and working closely with our Forum Secretariat and Member States, we'll work to ensure that before Tuvalu, we should make some progress in terms of the partnership policy that I was referring to earlier. Thank you.
Thank you. Eva from the Fiji Sun. My question is on the Ocean of Peace Declaration. There seems to be more concerning issues rather than peace happening around the region. So how does this declaration actually translate into peace in member countries where there are still ethnic and political tensions, legacy issues still faced, self-determination, there's the Fukushima issue. So what does this actually mean for the forum? Thank you.
Thank you. I'll comment on that briefly. The Ocean of Peace will come with an implementation plan of its own, and that will go into the details as to how we will address or manage the various issues that come under the Ocean of Peace Declaration. For example, the EXOs that I was referring to, there will be a work program or implementation plan as well, in terms of how do we as a region, as countries, working closely with our Secretariat, proceed to address EXOs, working with our partners also. For example, in the case of Solomon Islands, we have the US and Australia who have been working with us, but we would like to expand those activities, and probably other countries who face a similar challenge would also approach it in that way. So there will be implementation plans in terms of the various issues and challenges coming under the Ocean of Peace Declaration.
Mathieu Ruiz from New Caledonia, La Première. Thanks for welcoming us. What is your position about the conclusion of the mission of your position about the new discussion in New Caledonia? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a very, very important point. We, of course, my Prime Minister. So, Prime Minister, okay, if you could respond to that.
Thanks very much. That is one of the pivotal agenda that we have in the work of the Troika in the current period. And in fact that a Foreign Secretariat is only responsive to the kind of situation when they are invited. And so and that is the engagement framework that we have adopted, that we have to come and facilitate. So what we have been done so far is basically to work together with the both government, France and also New Caledonia, and also stakeholders. That was a task that was given to us. And therefore, we have a field that missions last year, 2024, and this year we finalized the report. And I think that's what we actually have seen, is look into the situations, analysis what we could do from here in consultations, both parties here. So we're not there just to have anything to try to bring to any, I mean, be a broker or something. Not at all. Just go there and facilitate and see what we could help upon invitations from both of them. And that's where we are. And we should pray. Please pray for this. And I know the people, all of the people here, want our our support and also our help. And we hope this will one day we bring to a peaceful conclusions and we'll move forward from that. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Tess Newton-Kane. I'm here with the Marshall Islands Journal. Recently, the Chinese embassy in Tonga issued a statement in which they described the decision in 1992 to allow the forum as a mistake and called upon the Pacific Islands Forum to rectify that error. Can you let us know what your response to that is, please?
Thank you, Honourable Chair. No, it wasn't a mistake, but it wasn't discussed. It wasn't part of the. If you're referring to the meeting last year, is that? Am I understanding your question? No. Yeah. Well, based from the leaders' decision, we have no. And concluding with the retreat as well, there's nothing changed. There's no particular concern on anyone's part, any of our leaders' part, and the 1992 decision is still there. But let's take just we don't have to go into any detail or highlighting any aspect of it, but it's all leaders acknowledge that, and it's there.
Eddie from Solomon Star newspaper. What is the way out the leaders came up with on the crops implementation machinery? As we know, some of the crop members are founded on by treaty.
Eddie, can you repeat your question?
The crops
agencies.
Yeah, like the implementation machinery is a bit different from. So how do you deal with it under the regional review architecture? Thank you.
Want to try that?
Okay, if I may just, I think, true. There's a lot of discussion this week about the crop, and as you can see, there's some review on how we operate. When I say we, the crop agencies, with PIF taking apex of agencies. All the other crops will work together with PIF and work on the priorities of the member families. 2050 strategy. And we've already started doing that. As you can see, the format of this meeting, it's unique, and under the able leadership of our chairman, we managed to get the crop starting to focus their attention on leaders under providing reports, what they're doing according to the 2050 strategy and the thematic approach.
Or endorse it.
Thank you.
discussed at the foreign ministers meeting?
Those two matters were already discussed at the foreign ministers meeting.
Torres Strait Island Media Association, SIMA 4MW and Torres News. I've tried to read this as quickly as possible, but I've got a question about one of the two standing agenda items. You've referred to the nuclear issue. There's no reference in your opening address or remarks about West Papua, and I can't find any reference in here to West Papua at all. What discussion was there about West Papua? Why is there no reference to West Papua, a standing agenda item in this communique? And under the partnership, leaders' policy on partnerships, it talks about observer status. Is this an avenue for West Papua to seek observer status with Pacific Islands Forum?
Thank you. In terms of West Papua, yes, it's a standing matter, and as part of the outcomes, the leaders tasked the Secretariat in terms of the work with the UN Human Rights Commission to follow up on the previous decision for the UNHCR on that. Relating to the whether West Papua will become an observer, at this stage, as I've said, the partnership policy has been adopted, but the details, Trek will be working on the details going forward.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Nick McClellan from Islands Business Magazine. The statement about the Rarotonga Treaty and the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, that's the first time TPNW has been mentioned in the communique. Given that most forum members have already ratified it, was there any indication from other countries in the forum as to whether they would step up and follow the lead? Similarly with the Rarotonga Treaty, earlier this year, Marshall Islands signed on. This is to Mr. Aitaro, where the Palau and FSM are considering the same. Where the FSM is following the Marshalls to join the treaty as well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that question. With regards to signing the treaty, the Republic of Palau is looking at it because our national constitution basically prohibits non-proliferation, nuclear weapons to our waters. So we're trying to see where we can jive, and then we'll consider. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Prime Minister, Chair. Alfred from Solomon Island Broadcasting Corporation. I have a question for you. Now, I understand that there has been a paper submitted. The question is based on the regional visa free movement here for the Pacific. Now, many people from the Pacific have, including the civil society, groups are calling for visa-free travel. Now, has the leaders meeting discussed the idea of the Pacific Free Movement Agreement or Pacific Passport? Yeah. And follow to that, Chair, also there was a report too that the paper was submitted on the UXO contamination in the Pacific. Has the forum received commitment of funding pledges for international partners? Thank you.
The Secretary General will respond to the first part of your question, but with regards to the country paper, our country paper on UXOs, that is now being processed through the forum, and as I've said earlier, they will work on a work program to implement an UXO program. Not only for Solomon Islands, but also for other countries in the region that faces the challenge of UXOs.
With the other matter, the forum foreign ministers have dealt with it and have tasked the directors of immigration to move the work forward.
Bulavinaka, Mr. Chair. I'm Rudy Ranitu from Fiji TV. My question is regarding your decision to support Australia's bid to support COP31. I understand you've already highlighted it in your speech, but could you please just elaborate on the discussions that you've had with your Australian counterpart and how important it is for the Pacific?
Thank you. Thank you for that important question. Yes, we will, with Australia's lead, the Forum family members are behind, and we will use every opportunity to advocate for Australia's hosting of COP31, which we see as a Pacific COP. We will also, our crop agencies, SPC and SPREP, are also on board in terms of how we will work on this. I think there is a planned meeting to happen in Australia around October in terms of the strategies that we will be undertaking. Of course, we'll use every opportunity that we have internationally to advocate for COP31. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Hello, Stephen Jesuits from ABC News in Australia. Could I ask all leaders, sorry, I'd invite any leaders to comment on this. Did any of the leaders at the Leaders Retreat discuss with Australia its current policies on oil and gas production? In particular, was there any discussion with Mr Albanese about the moves that Australia has made recently as today, to expand gas production through the North West Shelf project? Did Pacific leaders make any representations to him on North West Shelf or on the expansion of fossil fuel projects? And if I could be a little opportunistic while I've got the mic and ask Dr. Eke a brief question. Sir, one of your ministers or officials announced earlier today, that the Deputy Prime Minister would travel to Australia and that he would sign a new partnership or a statement of intent for a new partnership for Australia. With Australia. Could I ask, could you expand on what's being contemplated, how this new agreement will work, and what you anticipate it might look like? Thank you.
Thanks, Australia. In fact, yes, the framework is basically we try to elevate our partnership to a higher level, and that's why we have a statement of intent, which is quite different, and that's not different from what we used to have with them. And that is basically as overarching framework to represents our engagement going forward in terms of principle that we have to we undertake a partnership with the mutual spirit of integrity, mutual benefit, and also respect. And also in terms of financial aid, we already start to have look into how we could help and work together to achieve in terms of regional issue and also a bilateral issue in terms of expansions and realization of our aspirations for economic development elevated to a higher degree. So that framework is basically a statement of principle that actually will guide us going forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Leon from...
Sorry, just a comment on that. Usually, not through the forum process, but bilaterally, leaders normally raise those issues. I don't know which countries raise with Australia on that. But for Solomon Islands, no, we did not raise that.
Thanks. Leon from the National Broadcasting Corporation of PNG. Just with regard to the PRF facility, I understand it's about $500 million US that's expected to set up the facility. How much are each of the PAC members expected to perhaps put up for the setup of the facility? Thank you.
Right. Yes, that's right. In fact, we have set goals that we work toward, and that is basically to have for next year $500 million US as the initial capital, and then from there we work in terms of trying to increase it. The ultimate objective is to hit $1 billion, but we start with this, and also what we have received so far is about 156 million US dollars. In addition to that, we also have received contributions from donors parties for the operational aspect of the facility. In fact, the basis that we are actually funding this is on the basis of voluntary basis for member and also development partners. That is what we are actually using for them of capitalization and also operationalization of these BRF. Thank you.
Kia ora, Caleb from Radio New Zealand Pacific here. Is there now consensus on the regional architecture review? Can you tell me what was agreed on? And I was told that there was consideration for partners to only be at the meetings every second year. Was that agreed on as part of that regional architecture review? And just while I have the mic as well, just to follow up on the West Papua question, there was a special envoy plan to go in 2023. Has that now been abandoned, or is that still a plan?
Thank you. On the review of the regional architecture, the work undertaken by the high-level political group, the leaders went through the various recommendations. What will happen going forward? I, as chair, as chair of the Troika, will write to every forum leader, and of course, with an annex of what we have decided on each of the recommendations. Thank you.
Yeah, Prime Minister Johnson from National Broadcaster SIBC. We follow live broadcasting press conference here. Now, Uncle Lokia Henrinkam asking you, what now you achieving for people blue? Lo Solomon Islands lo this week, Prime Minister. What na ba you talan lo kata? Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Johnson. There is a lot in the forum agenda that directly links and impacts on the lives of people in the villages in the rural areas. Oceans, fisheries, the Pacific, including our people in the rural areas, including Lokia, rely on the oceans, they rely on the seas, they rely on fish. So a healthy ocean, a healthy marine environment, critical in terms of fishing, where people of village or the depend on him. Similarly, if you talk about UXOs, over the years, UXOs is a major impediment to development in the Solomon Islands. It has also, a number of people have lost their lives. So these are issues, real issues that we have in the country. We also have UXOs. So it is important that we clear these UXOs so that it does not. We've also discussed the life of our people in the region, including Solomon Islands and rural parts of Solomon Islands. Thank you.
Hi. Sorry, afternoon. Ofani Irma is my name, from In-Depth Solomons. Prior to this meeting, the exclusion of dialogue partners has grabbed the headline. Can you tell us what was it like to meet without our dialogue partners? Well, this is the first time this has happened. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You used the wrong terminology, exclusion. The terminology that I use is deferment. Our partners are very important. We recognize their efforts, their contributions in terms of the implementation of regional programs and projects. But it is also very important for the forum, for the region, also as a region, we need to be prepared, we need to be ready in order for us to effectively engage with our partners going forward. So that was the basis of that decision. Well, different people will have their own assessment in terms of how they find the meeting this week. Have told me that it has given them a bit more opportunity to talk with each other, especially attending the dialogue sessions with the private sector, with the crop agencies, as well as with civil society. So a bit more time for us to interact and to engage among ourselves. So that's important as well. Going forward, as I said earlier, we hope that the partnership policy that will be worked on this year, we hope that will be ready before Palau, so that come Palau, we can re-engage with our partners. But it's not only through the forum process that our partners are engaged. We also engage with our partners my response to that. So we look forward to engaging with our partners, another forum, but also through ongoing arrangements and other going forward.
Liliani from the Tonga Broadcasting Commission. My question is about the issue of climate change. How will the forum make sure the Pacific's voice is stronger on climate change, especially to push the biggest polluting countries to take action? Thank you.
Thank you. Climate change is a very important matter. It remains the single greatest in the region. You normally hear about people talking about the need adaptation measures or approach, but also mitigation. But it is a matter that will continue to require the engagement, involvement of every stakeholder. And as I've said earlier, we congratulate our youth who have been working very closely with member countries, including Vanuatu, in terms of seeking that ICGA advisory opinion. So that shows that when we work together as a region, including our youth, our civil society and governments, I think will be much more effective. Not only in terms of advocacy, that I understand, there is also, and there is ongoing work in terms of programs undertaken by crop agencies, by partners, in terms of renewable energy, for example. That's a mitigation approach. Or in terms of addressing a coastline or building climate resilient facilities. That's adaptation. So those activities will continue to be important for us in terms of addressing climate change. We have a very little blueprint in terms of carbon emissions, so it is important that we continue to work with our partners and tell them that they have a responsibility to assist small island countries in terms of managing and adapting to the impacts of climate change.
Thank you. We are going to have the second last question.
All right, I'm Lini Sharuna from the Sunday Isles Media. Speaking of the Blue Pacific Ocean Strategic 2050, we all understand that fisheries remain our region's most valuable resource, valued at almost 5 billion USD. This is according to data annually. For the beneficiaries of the region, from this 5 billion annually USD that we used to get, this is according to data. Can you indicate one in either any of you? I want to answer. Any of you to answer my question. What is the beneficiaries that we as the regional countries benefited from this amount of money that we usually earn from fisheries. Thank you.
Thank you for that important question. I think much of that data is based on tuna fisheries, I guess, in terms of the benefits. And tuna fisheries, very important for our region. I think you heard about this East New Britain initiative to try and expand tuna fisheries so that we can get more value for money. So if we can process our fish in country, in the region, and we export it, most likely we'll get more revenue going forward. But also tuna fisheries, if you look at the canneries, for example, they create jobs for our people. So we would like to expand on the fisheries front, add value so that we can also create job opportunities for our people in terms of income. Of course, there are challenges in the tuna fisheries and fisheries sector, and this is not new. There are challenges in terms of IEU fishing. So through bodies like FFA, we continue to monitor, provide surveillance in terms of the region's waters. Tuna fisheries is very important. So as onshore fisheries, coastal fisheries, sometimes we do not value the impact, the dollar sign on that. But our people in the rural areas also depend on coastal fisheries for their livelihood.
We'll have the last question now.
Hi, I'm from China Media Group based in Sydney. So it's my very first time to be here and very honored. Yeah, so my question is, so what kind of role would you like to expect China to play in the development of the whole region? Yeah, thank you.
We value the partnership that we have with all our partners, including China.
That brings to an end the press conference for this afternoon. Your Excellencies, totally appreciate your time. And to the members of the press corps, totally appreciate your time as well. All the best for the end of the program. Thank you so much, sir.
Manuskrip Papua.